Welcome, everyone. This is the Telarus Tuesday call for the first day of May. How did that happen? 2018, May 1st. We invite you to log into our video feed for all of today's exciting information and to submit questions and comments for our presenters today via our chat window. It's all at Telarus.com/start. I'm Doug Miller, the voice of Telarus, and the big headline this past weekend, of course, in addition to my Utah Jazz beating the Oklahoma City Thunder to advance to the NBA playoffs, was, of course, the agreement between T-Mobile and Sprint to combine their companies in a $26 billion deal. Telarus CEO Adam Edwards posted his take on the news within minutes of the announcement, assuring Telarus partners that our mobility and IoT group is here to help partners navigate the new Sprint and T-Mobile 5G network. Big news this weekend. I am joined today by two amazing presenters on our call. First, Telarus National Channel Manager for VX Services, Karie Huzzey, will be here to discuss VXSupportLine, helping discover the nature, extent, and resolution for call quality issues on your clients' networks. And then our friend Don Felman is here from Telarus supplier PGI, also known as Premier Global Services Incorporated. Don is the Director of Partner Sales at PGI, the global leader in web conferencing, online meetings, and webcasting technology. PGI's Global Meet has been redesigned, and that means enterprise collaboration is better than ever. Today we'll learn why PGI's Global Meet technology is so significant and how you and your clients can both win with this exciting PGI offering. It's Karie Huzzey with VX and Don Felman with PGI. They're both coming up in just minutes. Have to give a shout out and thanks to the one and only Amy Bailey, Telarus VP of Marketing, for expertly hosting last week's Tuesday call. Thanks, Amy, to you and all of your team for the work that goes into this event each and every week. If you happen to miss last week's call, Amy was joined by Jody Hegeman. She was the Director of Next Generation IP Networking at Comcast, discussing Comcast's new Active Core platform and Comcast's SD-WAN offering, the very first product on that Active Core platform. Pair that with the largest IP network in the country and the value of gig, and that is future-proofing your client's network. You need to hear that call. The complete recording of last Tuesday's call is available now in your Telarus partner back office. And thanks again, Amy, for filling in. There is an exciting regional training and networking event to tell you about this week. If you're in the San Diego area, it's actually next Tuesday, May 8th. Please plan to join us at the TPX office at 11 a.m. Pacific time for an executive lunch and briefing with the key technologists from TPX. You can check out the details at Telarus.com events. Beginning next week, the Telarus Tuesday call will be moving to a new conference bridge with additional interactive features that will make this event even more informative, valuable, and fun. You can watch for details being sent out this week. We'll let you know exactly where to dial in to take advantage of the Tuesday call beginning next Tuesday, new conference bridge. I hope you have made your reservations to join us at the phenomenal Telarus Partner Exchange. That is coming up June 19th through the 22nd at the Boca Raton Resort. Now, last week, Amy Bailey announced our exciting keynote speakers, including the Iron Cowboy and CenturyLink's Lisa Miller. Amy also announced details on the Alliance of Channel Women event now happening the day of the awards banquet. More than 300 attendees have already registered. Be sure to get your spot. It's Telarus' biggest event of 2018. So many of our partners and our best-of-breed suppliers will be gathering for a week of training, networking, business building, and a lot of fun. It's all at one of the most beautiful beach settings Florida has to offer. There's nothing quite like the Telarus Partner Exchange. All of the information, including agenda and registration info, can be found at Telarus.com Partner Exchange, and that's Partner Exchange spelled with an X. And as you see on the slide, that link will allow you to register, reserve a hotel room, and select your Friday activity, which includes snorkeling, fishing, my favorite, golfing, or a spa treatment. It's all at Telarus.com. Partner Exchange. We can't wait to see you there. And we have to remind you that qualification is underway for this year's Telarus President's Club for the cruise of a lifetime to Havana, Cuba. So many ways to qualify, either with Telarus directly or by qualifying with one of the suppliers shown on your screen. There are some phenomenal and very easy to achieve offers there. Some are limited, so you're going to need to move fast on those. You can get more details online at the address indicated, or you can call our new partner hotline at 877-346-3232 for information. Cruise to Havana with the Telarus President's Club. You can do this. And we thank all of our partners and suppliers who joined us for our 4 Telarus Innovation Conferences last week. Man, that was a lot of information in a short period of time. Our immersive technology training experience with workshops and case studies on security, SD-WAN, contact center, and more, including the exclusive Telarus tools and resources designed to help our partners win. The Telarus Innovation Conferences rev back up once again in May, with dates in Boston on May 15th and in Minneapolis on May 17th. You can register now for the Telarus Innovation Conferences and check out the rest of our locations for 2018 at Telarus.com events. Well, all right, let's get to this. My favorite part of the Telarus Tuesday call, some exciting and very well-deserved recognition for 3 of our high-performing Telarus partners who've put up some of the top wins in our past week. In this week's 3rd position, Telarus congratulates Darlene Stevens, principal, and Todd Goringe, co-founder, and all of the team at Elite Telecom Solutions, just up the road from Telarus HQ in Draper, Utah. Darlene, Todd, and the Elite Telecom team closed a tremendous sale of hosted VoIP services from Momentum Telecom to a client in online security services. Momentum delivers superior quality products backed by a geo-redundant network with industry-leading uptime and best-in-business customer service. Elite Telecom Solutions offers their clients strong carrier partnerships and a detailed understanding of client network needs to provide value-added consulting and strong ongoing support clients can count on. Congratulations to Elite Telecom Solutions on this outstanding Momentum sale. And in this week's 2nd position, Telarus congratulates Ken Smith, he's the CEO, and Adam Brennert, he's the president, and all of their team at Peakview Communications out of Englewood, Colorado. The Peakview team posted a fantastic sale of contact center services and solutions from NICE inContact to a customer in the financial consulting arena. NICE inContact makes it easy for contact centers to transform one-on-one experiences. They unify omni-channel routing and workforce optimization with the agility of the cloud. Peakview Communications team members average 20-plus years in the telecom industry, and they deliver a customized service experience, curating the best solutions at zero cost to their clients. Congratulations, Peakview Communications, on this tremendous NICE inContact win. And topping our leaderboard this week, Telarus congratulates Jason Jones. He's the principal at Cressa Global Incorporated, headquartered in our nation's capital of Washington, D.C. Jason and the Cressa Global team joined forces in an SME arrangement with Cloud and Wire to close an absolute monster of a sale of analog voice services from Birch to a client in the commercial real estate business. Now, Birch provides voice services for every need, from analog to the cloud. And it's one provider, one monthly bill, and one number to call. Take your client's business to the next level with Birch. Now, Cressa Global specializes in real estate transactions. They value integrity, partnership, and entrepreneurship. And they're guided by the simple principle, do the right thing. And today, Cressa lands at the top of our Telarus leaderboard with the top Telarus sale of the week. Congratulations, Jason Jones and Cressa Global and Cloud and Wire on this phenomenal Birch sale. Thanks to all of these 3 top-selling partners and to each of you for trusting Telarus with your business. Telarus is built for you. Well, normally at this time we would take a few minutes to go through our training calendar for the upcoming week, and we'd look at some spiffs and available opportunities for you. But we have so much information on today's call with both Karie and Don here. So we just remind you that to take a look at all of the available trainings, visit us at agent.telarus.com. You can log in there and see all of the upcoming conference calls, replays of this Telarus Tuesday call event, and a lot of vendor information and training as well. And for current promos and spiffs to make those sales even more valuable and profitable for you, visit us at promo.telarus.com. You'll see tremendous offers there from our suppliers. Take advantage of the information there from all of our suppliers for you. Well, I am extremely happy to welcome back to our Telarus Tuesday call Telarus National Channel Manager for VX Services, Karie Huzzey. Karie is here to discuss the VX suite of services which help business customers understand their ecosystem, optimize performance, and deliver unparalleled quality of experience to users. VX also provides Telarus partners with free circuit monitoring for their customers. Karie, it's terrific to welcome you back to the Telarus Tuesday call. Welcome, and how are you doing?
Hi, Doug. Thank you. I'm doing very well. Thank you for having me on the call.
Great to have you here. I understand you've got a lot of material to get through today talking about VXSupportLine. We can't wait to hear all about it.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, we do have a lot of information to cover, and out of respect for everyone's busy schedule and the time that we have allotted for VXSupportLine, what I want to do is I just want to give a 500-foot view of VXSupportLine. First, I want to actually start out with why VXSupportLine. I think it's really important to understand why customers want to know about the resources that our partners are offering them. Here is a Gartner Frost & Sullivan survey asking customers why didn't they choose hosted UC. So as you can see, the number 1 reason is customers are concerned about performance and reliability. Number 2 is control. Now what I think these results mean is that as a buyer, how am I supposed to control and support the end user when I'm basically outsourcing? Now we know that most providers, the provider applications are running at near 100% uptime, yet 3/4 of the buyers won't go all in because of perceived performance and reliability issues. Now this mistrust stems from when the end user experiences issues. They point the finger at the IT buyer points the finger at the providers they've purchased the cloud solutions from, and the cloud provider points their finger at the end user, the device or their local network. Nothing can be more important than creating transparency and trust between the buyer and the service provider. So introducing VXSupportLine. So VXSupportLine is a platform enabling a cloud self-service workflow that shows relevant information between the end user and the service provider's data center. And this starts at the pre-sales process by removing fear and risk and ensuring applications will function. And I say will function as intended in the customer's environment. Now, as a trusted advisor, you want this because you can identify and resolve potential bottlenecks in the customer's environment prior to deployment, avoiding that negative experience. And service providers want this because when customers have a bad experience based on LAN or WAN, they incur brand damage, lost revenue, and especially fail to differentiate themselves. So, all right, how does VXSupportLine work? Now, through VXSupportLine, you can test the voice quality from an end user's computer to a beacon installed in the data center of a specific hosted service provider by simply visiting a URL. Next slide. There we go. So, based on network standards, network requirements, this test is going to reflect what the hosted user experience is going to be like at that very moment, real time, and if the network performance can support a hosted environment. All of these suppliers that you see here are currently participating in VXSupportLine. Now, our goal is to have all of our hosted service providers in our portfolio participating. However, those that you see here, you can test to their beacons today. Next slide. So to run a VXSupportLine application test, you're going to enter VXSupportLine.com / don't forget the / and then the supplier's name. So an example is going to be VXSupportLine.com / Vonage, VXSupportLine.com / TPX. You get the idea. So this is what the page is going to look like, the test page, and this is the data that you're going to see. Find server, can the application test even find the internet? Check firewall, confirming the correct 5060 port is even open. Upload download speed, confirming that there is sufficient throughput and traffic speed. Mental note here, this is not a direct reflection of the bandwidth speeds coming into the customer's office or location. This is not a speed test. This actually represents the speed of the test itself. How long does it take for the test to reach the supplier's data center, and how long does it take to come back to the URL, to the customer? Internet speed to you, latency, delay, packet loss if there is any, and then of course the trace route at the bottom, how many hops the test goes through to reach the supplier's data center. Now, when the VXSupportLine reflects negative test results, up above, right below the name, it'll give suggested next steps. It'll say engage your IT resource or engage the service provider. This initial test is a simple ICMP test. Now, to collect more information, select the Run VoIP Test button right there. And then basically what you're going to be asked to do next is download a self-contained executable application called a support app. The support app does not remain on the computer long term. It sits in the download section. It'll run until it's closed or the computer is restarted. Now, this support app is going to run 10 sequential VoIP calls. And then through a graph, it will give you an overall quality rating, similar to a MOS score, from the test VoIP calls that were completed. Now keep in mind, the objective of this test is to come to a binary decision. Either the network is performing as needed for good call quality, the call quality issues represented are on the customer's network and they need to engage their own IT resource, they need to have a conversation with you about adding necessary bandwidth to support their voice calls, or they should be contacting their hosted provider to begin troubleshooting. So recapping VXSupportLine. So imagine you are the solution expert that finally brings resolution to your customer's mistrust, the mistrust that we've been talking about. You can test with VXSupportLine the voice quality before a customer commits to a service provider. Seriously, use this tool to begin hosted conversations with your customers. Establish user empowerment when there is an issue. VXSupportLine enables customers to identify call quality issues that they are experiencing and helps them identify if those reside on their own network or if they should contact the hosted service provider. By identifying this, you give that control back to them. VXSupportLine is an unbiased validation to the customer. Give them transparency. Seriously, stop the finger pointing. This is a very powerful position for you to be in. And then lastly, VXSupportLine POC, point of contact. I am your point of contact for everything and anything VX Suite. So if you have more questions on VXSupportLine, how it works, how to begin those conversations, qualifying questions, any additional information you need, I am here to help support you. So don't hesitate to reach out to me, give me a call, send me an email, let me know how I can help.
Thanks so much, Karie. That is Karie Huzzey. She is Telarus National Channel Manager for VX Suite, talking about VXSupportLine. Karie will be back with us at the conclusion of today's call to take the questions. We've got a few that are already coming in on our chat window. If you have additional questions or comments for Karie, please feel free to go ahead and send those in as well, and we'll bring her back here following our next presentation. Karie, thanks so much. We'll be back to you in just a few minutes.
Thanks so much, Doug.
I'm also very happy to welcome today our friend Don Felman from PGI. Don's the Director of Partner Sales at PGI. The company has a global presence in 25 countries, and its award-winning solutions provide a collaborative advantage to nearly 50,000 enterprise customers, including 75% of the Fortune 100. That is impressive. PGI helps people connect worldwide to collaborate and to get work done. Don, welcome to the Telarus Tuesday call. These are tremendously exciting times at PGI, aren't they?
Absolutely. Thank you for the very nice intro. It'll be tough to follow the presentation before me, but I'll do my best.
Happy to have you here. Go ahead and let's talk about PGI's collaboration services, and then, of course, at the end, we'll do some question and answers as well.
Absolutely. I'm excited for so many reasons today. I mean, Chicago Bears didn't screw up the draft over the weekend. Winter finally gave up, and we've had two 70-degree days in a row here in Chicago. It's amazing. So I'm so excited. I'm also excited that we're a new part of the Telarus portfolio. We've been in the channel for a long time, and it's been a long time coming. So we're excited. I've got a team focused on the Telarus partners. Obviously, I'm the director. I've got folks who are geographically dispersed to help partners with whatever they might need. And so that information will be provided to everyone, and I'm sure you can get them on the Telarus page. Okay, you can go to the next slide. Perfect. So we've been around for a long time, about 26 years now. We're the premier provider of conferencing collaboration services and have been for quite a long time. We've obviously accumulated quite a number of clients over that time. 50,000 is the number. That's still right. We're very excited. We're doing a lot of innovation. About $500 million in revenue, and last year I believe it was 12 billion minutes, 3 billion of which were mobile. And we do focus on 75% of the Fortune 100. When I do the math, that's about 75, I believe. But no, realistically, we focus on mid-tier to enterprise organizations. And today we're going to focus really on 3 areas where we win and 3 areas where you as partners can take advantage of the products and services that PGI provides. Go ahead. Awesome. So over the time we've been around, we've really invested and built out a really beefy audio conferencing network. And let's face it, audio conferencing isn't sexy these days. It might have been years ago, but I will tell you that we're still selling a ton of it, and we incorporate it into everything we do. Every platform that's out there needs audio, and you see a lot of companies now sort of scrambling to put together their audio network because they may have built out a video platform or a web conferencing tool, and then they're sort of moving back to the audio piece. Well, I sort of got some news for you. If the audio doesn't work well, the meeting's not going to go well, and that goes for small meetings and that goes for large meetings. So we feel like we started in the right place, and then we've moved forward. We have added web conferencing, video conferencing, and a lot of other things along the way. So we have equipment basically on every continent in a lot of different countries. We're not backhauling any traffic. It's basically routing locally to wherever they are. If they're in the UK, we've got bridges out there, or in Asia, or anywhere. So essentially, we're not backhauling anything. It's routing to the local bridge, and then we're interconnecting it through our network. We do have 160 global access points, and what that means is basically a place where a lot of people are doing business now. Like in India, we actually have 4 local access numbers and a toll-free number. So again, and we utilize different carriers for those numbers, so there's some redundancy and some backup. So we were actually the first company approached and to partner with Microsoft for their Skype for Business offering. So we have literally tens of thousands of audio integrated users for Skype for Business, and also the same for Cisco WebEx. We both sell WebEx and we integrate our audio with it. So we have a lot of folks moving their WebEx licenses under us for a number of reasons. And in worst case, we're just integrating our audio again because we've got this giant footprint, a very reliable network, and we've got great user support. So let's go ahead. So really the first spot we're going to talk about is our audio and web bundles featuring our new Global Meet offering, and you can go to the next one. Luckily, a lot of these slides are pictures because I made this myself, so there's not going to be a lot of reading today. PGI, again, has been around for a long time. We've been one of the largest resellers of WebEx for quite a bit, and we still do. We've also developed our own products. We have our Global Meet 4.0, which is still run by thousands of companies, tens of thousands of users on it. However, it's based in Flash, and Flash nowadays is kind of a four-letter word, and it still works, and we don't have many problems with it at all. However, for a new world, we have built out our Global Meet 5.0, which is HTML5 based and WebRTC based. So true viewing through the browser, and the WebRTC allows us to really pull in, any browser, any device, pretty much from anywhere. So really excited about that. We don't see a lot of offerings out there that are offering this right now, and so we're really trying to put together our robust network with our easy-to-use service and making it even easier with HTML. Next slide. And again, one of the benefits is it's fully integrated with our audio network, web conferencing, video conferencing, share your screen. I know we're using a different product here, which is great, but there's just, again, we provide a little bit of a different level of service for the mid-tier to enterprise organizations that really anyone can take advantage of. So, well, really great. Again, support is awesome. We've got video, web sharing, and we're adding a ton more features to it here shortly. But really the key to it is, and when we talk to folks, and again, we sell with WebEx, we sell against WebEx, Skype, all that good stuff, we really focus on our ease of use. It's just easy to use, and that's what we try to focus on. Almost all of our products provide callback services. So when you get the URL, you click it, it asks your phone number and calls you back. So no one even has to remember dial-in numbers and passcodes anymore. We've got that all covered. Go to the next slide. So the second part, and a lot of our partners don't really think about this as much, but it is a very highly profitable, large area that our partners and PGI can find revenue. So let's go to the next slide. So what I always tell partners is, you're sitting on a gold mine. You have these accounts, right, and you're a trusted advisor to them. They're all doing conferencing. That's really one of the great things about what we do. Everyone does it. It's just a matter of where that spend is going and who's getting compensated for it. So in your accounts, especially in the mid-tier and enterprise, but I will say we see this also in the smaller companies, there are events. There's corporate communications, marketing events, corporate town halls, investor relations calls. HR also needs to roll out benefits, open enrollment, things like that. So I actually do a couple seminars a year on line of business sales, which I'm not going to get into now. However, we do thousands of these events every month, and the size of these would surprise you. Even if someone has 500 or 1,000 employees, they want to communicate with them, usually on a quarterly, sometimes on a monthly basis. Sometimes there's large announcements. They've been bought, they've been sold, change in CEO. So we help customers with that. And so we actually purchased a company about 4 years ago called TalkPoint. And TalkPoint is the leader in the one-to-many broadcast and webcasting industry or environment. So some of the differences of this tool, and I want to say it doesn't really matter. It's the beauty of this is it doesn't really matter what they have. They might have WebEx, they might have Skype, they might have Global Meet. We sell this on top of other tools all the time just because it is a different animal. It's a much more robust tool. It's HTML5 based, so there's no downloads. It's device agnostic. We can provide a do-it-yourself license, or we can fully manage events, which usually happens when the executives are involved. It can scale up to 10,000 participants, so think about that. And for several companies, we've done calls up to 40,000, which is huge and amazing. So just think of large companies out there, the McDonald's of the world, the Burger Kings of the world, folks who have a lot of people in the field, franchisees, corporate stores, pharmaceutical. It's huge in pharmaceutical because of the branding capabilities. Financial is big too, trying to reach a lot of people in one shot. So again, scale on this is huge. Branding capabilities, tracking analytics, but probably the biggest thing we see here is when you're done with your live event, it flips over to an on-demand event just right away. So the same link people use to register for the live event, they can also register for the on-demand event and watch it at 2 in the morning if they wanted to. So we still track participation, right? So for marketing, it's not just a file you get when you're done with a meeting, and you have to figure out who watched it or figure out how to disseminate that information. We actually have it up in the cloud. Everything is tracked. We can see if they've downloaded anything, if they've asked any questions, and you can still get their feedback, even in an on-demand version. So let's go to the next slide real quick. This is just a couple examples of some investor calls, some town halls, and the one way in the back is actually a studio broadcast. We can do these from operating rooms, from conferences, from studios, things like that. Again, it's very professional. We can brand the heck out of it, and everything is tracked. So we can talk more about that, but again, this is a big spot for us. These big events are very difficult to facilitate, and not many people can do them. So we do them very, very well. Go ahead. So has anyone heard of Skype for Business? I heard that a few people are using it. Microsoft has really made a huge push into the market with Skype for Business, soon to be Teams, and it's very confusing, and it's out there. I had partners who used to come to me and say, oh, they're using Skype for Business, kind of throw their hands up and say, we're sort of done. And I say, that's just the beginning, actually. That's when they're going to need you the most, is when they decide to take that plunge into Skype. So let's go to the next slide. All right. And I will say that each of these topics I probably could do a 1 to 2 hour presentation on. So we're really keeping it nimble and keeping it light here, but just to give you an overview of some of the capabilities here. So as I mentioned, we've been partnering with Microsoft for the last 15 years, integrating our audio network into their into Skype for Business. We co-locate our equipment with them on several continents. One thing we did was 3 years ago, we bought a company called Modality Systems, which most of you probably haven't heard of. However, it is the largest global Skype integrator in the world. So what happens is a large company will buy O365 licenses from their VAR or from Microsoft, and then they'll come back to Microsoft or come back to the VAR and say, hey, we want it to integrate with our CRM or our ERP, or we need it to do this, or hey, it doesn't work the way we thought and we can't figure out where to go with it, right? So that's where we come in. We once that happens, usually turned over to Modality Systems or NPGI, and we sort of take it from there. One place we've also developed a new platform or a new solution is we still see large clients who have Skype or Link on-prem. And there's a few solutions out there that are hardware-based to provide audio conferencing capabilities to it, but there's definitely some drawbacks to it. This is a newer solution that we provided that does not include any hardware. It's all cloud-based and it integrates into Skype on-prem. There's a great window here that we've got to offer this until probably other companies start coming out with their own maybe next year. But it's a great solution. We've had a lot of great conversations and sold a lot of it, again, for Skype on-prem. So let's go to the next slide. Great. So one of the things that we've done, so we've really got 3 ways we interact with the Skype for Business. One is the audio integration, whether it's on-prem or in the cloud, which is great. The second is custom apps. We've built out several custom applications or I'll say co-created with Modality. And what they do several different things. We'll cover a few of them here. But one of the most powerful ones is also the simplest. Essentially, it's called Custom Invite, and it allows us to customize the invitation or templatize the invitation that goes out to participants from the host. So if you've ever seen a Skype invite, they're pretty plain. But we do work with a lot of companies where they're working with international folks. We're trying to make it easier to join calls and find the right number, or put logos and put branding on it on the invite. Put mobile strings so you can do one-touch access into a meeting. The other thing you can do with it, that actually put SIP or H323 strings so someone can click from a video conferencing unit and join seamlessly as well. Really, the focus is to consolidate everything. So through this invite, it's a gateway to everything. So you can join basically from any device, really easy to use. And we have sold this to many, many large companies. They love it once they see it. Next slide. Perfect. So a couple of the other ones, and we definitely won't get to them all. Skype Help, which is basically the ability for us to provide help services to Skype customers just through IM. So just like you go and you IM someone if you want to talk to them in your organization, we had a bot in there. So if they click Help in the Skype, in the IM list, it'll come to one of our call centers, and we'll be able to help them with anything that they need. Again, taking a huge burden off of Help Desk. We also have IM Broadcast, where you can communicate with large groups of people and track actually who sees it. So we've done this internally, and it works great. We also have Video Room integration, where we've got a cloud-based gateway, and we can integrate that to provide seamless access through custom invites from our cloud-based gateway from a video conferencing unit to Skype or vice versa. So we have a lot of different things that we can do with it. Next slide. Oh, I didn't know that came out like that. So the other things we do quite a bit are impact assessments and diagnostics. So especially with voice, we do see quite a few issues with Skype. So we can actually provide nodes that will track. I believe I heard a story that there was a company having a lot of issues with their audio quality. We literally tracked it down to like the headset to find out what the issue was. But again, we can provide audio integration. We have our custom apps, which make it a better experience, enhance the experience with Skype for Business. And then we've got our professional services, including diagnostics, adoption programs, integration with CRM, things like that. So we can do all those things. I'm supposed to talk about, I'm just trying to remember what else I got. We do currently have a promotion, a 1x, 2x MRR promotion for this quarter. I'm very excited to talk to you all, guys. And I also have 5 $100 gift cards that I am going to essentially, sorry, marketing sent me a note of what they wanted me to do here. So essentially, first 5 opportunities that come in, big or small, I'm going to send you guys a $100 gift card just for the lead, and then obviously you qualify for the 1x, 2x MRR spiff that we have going on. So I think I covered it all. I think I stayed around 15 minutes. Doug, anything else I need to do?
Don, I think you covered it pretty well, actually.
Perfect.
That's great. We are, of course, talking with Don Felman from PGI. He's the Director of Partner Sales out there. And terrific presentation. I loved the introduction, Don. You started out by saying, look, this is not going to be sexy. And then he spent 15 minutes telling us exactly why it's sexy. Don, this is a big deal. We'll have a number of questions for you here in just a second, and we want to welcome back Karie Huzzey as well with Telarus VX Suite, who made our first presentation today. Both Don and Karie are here to take your questions and comments, and we have a number of those for each of them. Don, since you're right there, I'm going to start with you for just a second. Whenever we talk about audio conferencing and related technologies, one of the most fun discussions that I have with people is that, no matter how the audio is delivered, no matter how the information is delivered, it still has to hit our two analog ears. And you touched on something right at the beginning of your presentation that I love, and that is if the audio doesn't go well, the meeting doesn't go well. And you can have all of the bells and whistles and every fancy feature you want, but if you can't hear it, and if it's frustrating, and if it goes in and out, the meeting doesn't go well. Talk just for a minute, if you would, about the significance of that and how all of this works together to ensure that we can hear it and understand it.
Absolutely. So we've seen a lot of competition in the industry over the last few years. And by the way, yeah, I still don't think it's sexy, but we do a good job of just dressing it up. So, But yeah, in the last 5 years or so, we've seen just a ton of competition come into the market. We've seen a lot of consolidation with the big players. You've seen Cisco and Microsoft really make a concerted push into the market. It's just interesting, and I've been in the industry for about 12 years or so. PGI, just over 3 years actually. But it is interesting to see it from a provider like PGI that really built out this, like I said, beefy international audio network that works for companies that have hundreds of thousands of employees. And then we see competitors that come in and they come in with like a video tool or a web share tool that's simple. And so we took the approach where, okay, we got this great audio network, let's do web, and we brought on WebEx, and we built our own, and video, and all that stuff. And from that, and these other guys, they go from video and web, and then they're like, oh, we need audio. We need people want to talk, right? So it's interesting because a lot of the calls we get are, the pain point is, well, it's the audio quality. So we're like, ding, we got that covered, right? So we really try to make it, again, it's got to work and it's got to be easy. And we really try to hit those two buckets as hard as we can to make it simple for the customer, partner. And again, the industry is continuing to change. There's a reason that we're the first partner to work with Microsoft and integrate our audio. There's a reason that we're one of WebEx's largest resellers globally. So hopefully that answers your question.
Well, and you touched on the fact that you've got a 15-year partnership with Microsoft, and you've got equipment that's co-located there with them. This is not something that's just come about recently. This is something that you've really developed together and can allow our partners to capitalize on.
Absolutely.
That's terrific. Karie Huzzey, let me bring you back in here for a second. We, of course, were talking about VXSupportLine and the VX suite of services that are available to Telarus partners. You started out the presentation by talking about several of the reasons, actually, that many have not yet adopted UC or are reticent to do so. And what we're talking about here in all of today's discussion is communications in the cloud. You talked about performance and reliability, control, and security, and the way that VXSupportLine helps customers on the front end be able to take a look at potential partners and really test what the type of call quality that they would encounter would be. Talk for just a minute about why that's so important in making a UC decision.
Absolutely. Doug, you summed that up very well. Thank you. Maybe next time you can give this presentation. So you're absolutely right. It is, I think what happens in the industry, and like I mentioned before, we're talking about perceived reliability issues. Customers don't often realize how important and how their network impacts that call quality. Data is so important, and voice is just so sensitive to the data connection. And so it's very important to make sure that the customer has those checks and balances in place. And often they don't know how to make sure those checks and balances are in place. There are a number of tools out there that the customers can probably research and so forth on their own if they were to try and focus on that. But the intent here is to be that advisor for the customer and bring in these solutions and then be educated on how to talk about them, how to position them, and then how to interpret them. I think that often gets overlooked very often, and it's just important to use these VX Suite tools to kind of fill those gaps. There's a natural workflow that VX Suite offers. You're first talking about circuit monitoring. That's a great way to get your customers familiar with how important data and analytics are just to their circuits. And then that transitions into hosted voice, hosted environments, how those circuits impact and the network impacts their call quality. And then, of course, when you are having challenges with customers that are currently on a hosted environment, on a hosted voice service, the VX Support Line is a great tool to begin troubleshooting. Where do those call quality issues lie, and then help give some direction and some solutions to the customer that they quite often don't really know what to do about.
And the way that it's set up is tremendous, because you start by giving the customer this very brief and easy-to-see overview of what anticipated call quality might be. But then after that result comes in, you're able to go into the deep dive with the actual VoIP test, where it's going to place actual calls, you're going to see actual results, and be able to see an ongoing set of results as to what those tests are returning. So it's both easy on the front end, but then you can get into detail as the customer becomes more familiar with it and get very detailed results. One of our partners, Karie, was asking, they want to be able to present that to their customers the way you presented it to partners today. Can we make available some type of script or a little bit of an outline for them that shows not only the partners that we're working with right now for VX Support Line, but the way that a partner would explain that to their client and begin to walk them through the test, especially if they're not on site with the customer?
Absolutely. It is my responsibility. Telarus has asked me and kind of charged me with that task to make sure all of our partners feel comfortable talking about it, speaking to it, understanding how to interpret that information. I have scripts, I have PowerPoints, presentations, marketing information. They can co-brand it or even just white label it themselves. I have a variety of information that I am more than happy and would love to share with any partner that is excited and interested in learning more. Definitely. Just give me a call, send me an email. We'll coordinate a time where we can connect. I will arm you with everything you could possibly need to talk to those customers and make sure that you're basically selling more hosted voice. That's what we want. That's what this tool is designed to do, is to help you sell more hosted voice, to build your reoccurring revenue through Telarus. So however I can help that, happy to do so.
And here, of course, is the official, what I call the VHS Betamax question that comes up on every call. The VoIP test app that was shown in the presentation today was Windows-based. One of our partners is asking, is there also a Mac version?
I love that question because I'm a Mac user. So yes, you're absolutely right. Currently right now the support app is only PC supported, but I have been harassing Michael Brown, Roger Blome, the engineers here, for a Mac version, and we will be coming out with that very, very shortly. In fact, I'm hoping within the next 30 days. And of course, if I'm throwing out 30 days, we just have to meet that deadline. So yes, Mac is coming out very soon, but PC currently right now, if you were to go out and run that test today.
Very good. No pressure, IT. It's on you now. Hey, let me bring back in Don Felman here from PGI for a second here. We were talking about audio conferencing and all of the fully integrated audio, web, and video that's available through their Global Meet project. This new version of Global Meet, Don, this is a big deal. You've enhanced the ease of use on this thing. You've added additional features to it. It truly is an all-encompassing solution for our partners to be able to offer to their clients. And two of the things that really stood out to me in your discussion is, number one, the ability to brand this for the individual client. Huge advantage in marketing their products and services. But then secondarily, the ability to use this for the large and high-profile events. We are seeing more and more of this in all size companies. Talk just a little bit more about how Global Meet can assist partners, clients, in doing that for their own organizations?
Yeah, absolutely. So we see just a huge need in large events, and it branches from the executive suite to marketing to HR and everyone. It's a need it's kind of difficult to actually to fit. There's just not a lot of people who can do it, especially for the large meetings and the important meetings. The other thing is, when your CEO is doing an announcement or a town hall or investor relations call, they want to make sure that everything goes well so we can fully manage all of these events. So as I mentioned before, I do a lot of talking about line of business sales because we do quite a bit, especially our direct team does a lot of calling marketing, calling HR. And one thing I always challenge partners to do is, I know they're asking the CIO and the VP of IT, what are your strategic initiatives for the next 5 years or whatever. But I always ask them to ask another question or a follow-up question. Well, just what are the initiatives going on outside of IT, right? Because they're probably focused on IT. And, companies are being bought and sold, and we're growing. We're moving into different markets. People are coming and going. So there's a lot going on outside of just the IT suite that partners may not being taken full advantage of, and that's where we really can shine. So just talked to a client yesterday that is doing large meetings for investor calls, or doing town hall meetings, or doing large marketing events, and it's just a really good fit because they're just kind of putting things together to try to make it work, and we can make it work pretty seamlessly for them.
Our partner, Zachary Schechter, just weighed in here on the chat line, makes a great point. He said that folks may not realize that a lot of clients have an existing conference platform that could be hard to sell into, but many have a separate large call platform that is often open game, or maybe they have no large call platform at all.
That's absolutely right, and especially as UCAS continues to take the world by storm, a lot of them have some integrated conferencing available to them that might meet a lot of the needs for the smaller calls and things like that. But we do talk a lot about kind of we'll call it shadow IT, guerrilla IT, where people from the lines of business also need their marketing has some specific needs, and sales has specific needs, and so they might go out and try to get something. So he's absolutely right. There are large, and I also say it doesn't even have to be large. We'll just say important, right? Large or important meetings are definitely open game and could be run out of IT. But I always ask, what's going on in the business itself that might drive some of that activity.
That's great. Now, you mentioned at the end of the presentation the promotion that you're currently running. You've got a 1X and a 2X spiff available, and then you've got some gift cards available for the first 5 opportunities that come in. Why don't you go ahead and take a minute and explain to our partners what they can potentially earn with that?
Absolutely. So we have the 1X, 2X is based on deal size. I think to get the 2X, it's just like a $2,000 a month MRR requirement. So we have had partners in the last few months earn $14,000 spiffs. I think one is going to get a $20,000 spiff. And even the small deals, I mean, a couple $1,000s times 2 really starts to add up. So, we really like to put on spiffs. Again, we know conferencing isn't the sexiest thing, so we do whatever we can to help partners ask questions and just find out what their clients are doing. And then, yeah, I do have my marketing gal has five $100 gift cards, and we really want to get things going. So just happy to get the first five opportunities in, big or small. We'll send them a $100 gift card.
PGI has a huge offering for Telarus partners, not only with the promos and spiffs that are available and the incentives for the opportunities, but as you've heard today from Don, just their product and solution line is phenomenal. Global Meet is really something you should check out. If you go to their website at pgi.com, you'll see some tremendous information about that. And, of course, we'll make the slides from today's call available as well. Don, give you the last word here. Why should partners be anxious to take a look at PGI's offering and explain that to their clients?
Yeah, I think what we do is not rocket science. It's pretty easy. All their clients are using it. Again, I say that they're sitting on a gold mine. They're just a matter of who's taking advantage of the spend and getting commission for it. So we try to make it really easy, not only for our clients to use our products, but for partners, we do all the heavy lifting. So you don't need to know much about it. Just have to ask a few questions and get us involved.
Sounds great. Karie, let me bring you back in here for the last word on VX as well. I want to remind everybody that Telarus offers free circuit monitoring through VX on all circuits accessed through Telarus, and we can go beyond that as well and provide trouble ticket resolution as well as a paid service for your clients as well. This has been huge to introduce people to VX Suite, but really it's so much more. Talk briefly, if you would, about the other services that are available and why people should be calling you to find out more about VX Suite.
Yes, thank you. Great setup there, Doug. So like you mentioned, and I briefly mentioned this before, there's a natural workflow that I think it's important for people to get familiar with and familiar and comfortable with how to position it to their customers. Again, start with circuit monitoring. It's free with Telarus source circuits. Then you can transition to that ticket resolution. All it takes is for one circuit to go down, and we all know what potential headache and time-consuming task that can take to call a carrier. One thing I do want to remind everyone, too, is the ticket resolution isn't just related to when the circuit goes down. Let's say there's an example where your customer is having just some intermittent email issues, internet issues. They're not sure what's going on. They think they're having some packet loss, and they just can't figure out what's going on with their internet connection. Use the ticket resolution. Our NOC will call the carrier, open a ticket, explain what's going on, and then mediate that through resolution. So it's more than just if a circuit goes down. And then, like I said, it transitions into VXSupportLine. You know, what that data and analytics can mean to a hosted environment, help avoiding or potentially eliminating those call quality issues. And then if you do have customers that are experiencing call quality issues and you're not sure what to do about that, how to troubleshoot that, and may not even have the resources to troubleshoot that on your own, we have network engineers that are at your beck and call. You can white label them. We will jump on calls with you. We're an extension of your sales team, your engineering team. We'll talk with you, with the customer, have those discovery calls, talk through the challenges. We will even conduct a network assessment on your behalf. And then, of course, using the VX Pulse, we really encourage customers to understand the importance of proactive monitoring. Once we've completed that network assessment with VX Pulse and often VXSupportLine in conjunction, depending on the situation, it's important to leave the micro devices in place. The heavy work has been done. You know, the micro devices are in place. They're programmed. They're provisioned. You can set SNMP traps, alerts, NetFlow if it's supported. There's just a lot of data and information you can collect to help encourage or help support the customer's environment so they don't have those negative user experiences. VX Suite is definitely a must.
Couldn't agree more, and you can find out more about VX Suite at vxsuite.com. Take a look, and be sure to get in touch with Karie Huzzey if you have any questions at all. Don, I got to bring you back one more time here. I nearly forgot to mention that you and PGI are helping sponsor our Telarus President's Club this year, our trip to Havana, Cuba as well. You've got a big role in that as well. You want to tell our partners just briefly about that as well?
Yeah, we're just really excited to be, again, part of the portfolio. So we were a little bit late to the game, so we weren't able to get involved in everything. But we're finding any place we can, local events, the President's Club, your annual meeting, that we're gonna do everything we can to get in front of partners and basically show them what we can do. So we're really excited. We're happy to be able to participate.
Amy Bailey sent me a note here while we were chatting that for a $3,000 sale, you can qualify for a trip. PGI is sponsoring one trip for our President's Club, so the first partner that qualifies with that $3,000 PGI sale
That's right.
Gets to go on the Havana cruise. That is a phenomenal deal and one of the easiest ways to qualify for President's Club that we have. So thank you to PGI for helping sponsor that. We're thrilled to have you as one of our suppliers. And thank you again, Don, for spending time on our call with us today.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
My thanks to both Don Felman and Karie Huzzey, who've spent time with us today. Terrific presentations. The recording of this call will certainly be available in your Telarus Partner back office, and so you'll be able to access those slides and all of the information that you saw today. Great information here, and my thanks to each of you as well for your attendance and participation each week on our Tuesday call. We'll be back next week with more information to help build your business. Till then, I'm Doug Miller, the voice of Telarus. Have a great selling week, everyone.